Wales and the Netherlands Stadium for this European Championship game. It's a World Cup 2021 qualifier between Scotland and Wales. The conditions set fair here for what should be a cracking game. Both sides lost their opening fixtures last weekend. Ireland were the victors over Scotland. Meanwhile, Wales well beaten in France. Looking forward to this one. It should be a very entertaining game, and it realistically is. Winner stays on. The loser tonight will have to fight on next year for their chance to get to the World Cup 2021. Looking forward to it. My name's Mark Wilson alongside Phil Kaplan. Phil, we're awaiting the two teams out here. It's going to be a keen contest.
Yeah, intriguing battle. We've got the battle of the coaches. We've got obviously the master and protege, John Keir, obviously is the coach of Wales. He's up against Chris Chester. The two were together at Wakefield. We've got two squads that are rebuilding after disappointing 2017 World Cups. And looking at the teams tonight, I think there's an equality in the back division. I just think that perhaps Scotland will shade it in the forwards. They've played here twice before, narrowly defeated on both occasions, so they'll be looking to reinvigorate themselves. Wales, of course, defending champions of this European Championship, and they took that off Scotland. So plenty to play for. Fireworks off the field. We're expecting fireworks on it.
Yeah, the fireworks going off in the background here. Really lush surface at Gala Shields for this one. And the conditions, not a breath of wind in the air. They're absolutely set fair here. So no excuses for the two sets of players. We'll give you the team news shortly. We are awaiting the two teams to come out of the tunnel. And it's important for both these sides that they get the points here. Of course, tomorrow there is a game between Ireland and France, and that realistically, Phil, is going to see the winner of that go to the World Cup 2021.
Yeah, we could end up with three teams on 4 points. This is a really big game for both of these two to stay in that dance. But I think looking at the way the sides played last week, France are the favourites. They've got the most Super League players in their lineup. They play Scotland in their final game at home. So I think if they can get anything from Ireland tomorrow, they will be favourites to go through. But the way it works is that the top two get automatic qualification to the 2021 World Cup in England. The bottom two do get a second chance in a playoff next year. That already knows some of the teams. Spain and Russia in that. Italy are in that. One of either Greece or Norway as well. So everything to play for.
Okay, here come the two players, two sets of players. The bagpipe are going to lead them out tonight. It's a braver man than me that wears a kilt on an evening like this. And the two teams led out. Ben Kavanagh, the captain of Scotland, there in the blue. Got the war wounds already before he takes in a tackle tonight. And Elliot Keir leading out the Wales side. And he's got family here tonight supporting in Elliot Keir. And they'll be looking forward to Super League, of course, with the London Broncos next season. But tonight, it's not club loyalties. It's all about the international game and the possibility of getting to the World Cup. And we've seen what it means to these players to get to the World Cup in previous years, Phil. It is a huge occasion.
Yeah, both made great contributions to previous World Cups, but I think the European Championship will be on their mind as well. That will be a goal that they'll want to perform tonight, so that it gives them a chance in the final round, week 3, to still be involved. And yes, they're underdogs to win the tournament, but one of them tonight will be a step close to at least challenging.
Here we go then with the national anthems. Wales to go first here at Netherdale. now the Scottish national anthem here at Galashiels and at Netherdale Stadium. A heartwarming rendition then from both sides, and good to see both sets of players singing the anthems there. Right, this is your Scotland team then to take the field tonight. David Scott at fullback. Craig Robertson comes in. One of 4 changes, makes his Scotland debut tonight. He's in the back line with Will Oakes of Hull Kingston Rovers, Murray Mitchell and Davy Dixon. It's Oscar Thomas and Ryan Briley at halfback. The captain Ben Kavanagh, Kane Bentley, Oliver Wilkes making his 499th career appearance tonight. Nick Glow, Frankie Mariano and James Bell make up the team. For Wales then, the Elliot Keir is the captain. Mike Butt comes in for a debut. James Olds, Ben Morris, Rhys Williams and Elliot Jenkins with Josh Ralph, Ben Evans, Steve Parry, Dan Fleming, Rodri Lloyd, Chester Butler and Connor Davis make it up the side, and we are underway. Wales in the red will kick off. It's allowed to bounce on the far side. Thomas will pick the ball up and feeds it in. It's important, Phil Kaplan, here that both sides start really well.
Yeah, I think the opening sets will tell us a lot about these teams. Will they be conservative? Will they chance their arm? I think both of the coaches, we know, John Keir and Chris Chester, like to vary things, but they're also very much structured coaches. So I think the first set from Scotland will be 5 drives and a kick.
Kane Bentley in at dummy half, feeds it to Frankie Mariano now with Doncaster. He takes the drive in. Bentley comes forward and gets Scotland over the 30. Will play the ball now. Oscar Thomas of Sheffield, formerly of Bradford and London, in at dummy half. Here they go up the middle. The Scottish side looking to get off to a good start here, and already they get over halfway. Now they've put the ball on the ground, and that was touched, I think, by a Welsh hand. It'll be interesting what the referee gives here. He's going to say it is a head and feet to Scotland. So the offload there didn't quite come off as intended, but a Welsh hand on the ground. And Ben Castille, of course, the referee tonight from France, brother of Remy Castille, the Catalan Dragons player.
Yeah, neutral referees for all of these games. Credit to the European Federation, EU-funded project to get more match officials involved in more countries. This is the most cosmopolitan mix. There's 7 different nations involved across the tournament. Ben Castille obviously is in charge here, and Scotland got away with one there, I think, an offload early in the tackle count, but they got the ball back.
Here's David Scott, the fullback, then takes Scotland over halfway for the first time this evening, and a good scoop from dummy half. All of a sudden Scotland on the back of that knock on are well inside the Welsh territory here. Will Oakes, the Hull Kingston Rovers man, is tackled. Here they go now, straight up the middle. Ollie Wilkes, performance number 499 of what's been a fantastic career, and he'll be hoping to make it 500 next week in France. Here's Briley, gets the short pass away. It's taken in, and the tackle made. 15 out from the line, and here now is Bentley, gets it away on this near side. They're trying to dodge their way through with Murray Mitchell. Mitchell wrapped up 5 metres out here. It's the last one. They're going to swing the ball in field now. Briley gets it away. They run it. And this is the last one. Apologies. Ball on the ground. It's play on. Little chip kick through. Picked up by Keir at the back. His job to get back in the field of play. He can't. It was an impromptu kick there from Scotland, and it comes up with the goods because the captain, Ben Kavanagh's kick, has blocked Keir in goal, and Wales are going to have to drop out from underneath their own posts.
You can see why New Zealand warrior James Bell's been brought into this team as well. That's I think 3 times he's touched the ball, 3 times he's tried to get it away. I think Chris Chester will probably hope that he does it in a more promising positions, but perhaps that's a gesture of intent.
Here's the repeat set then. Kavanagh drives it forward, and already now, 25 metres out. Big chances for Scotland to get off to a flying start here at Galashiels. Ball inside the 20. Slow play of the ball as Wilkes gets up now, gets it away. Bentley now to Briley, Briley to Thomas. Thomas ships the ball out wide, and it's taken in here by Mitchell, the Edinburgh Eagles player. He's wrapped up just, 7 metres away from the line. Dixon gets the ball away. Briley just turns it back. Here now is Bell. Gets the ball away down the short side. Chance in the corner, and they will open the scoring with Davy Dixon. Dives in at the corner. Well worked move down the short side. And Dixon strolls over the big acrobatic dive. And Scotland lead by 4-0.
Great work again from Bell. He was the guy that got the ball moving, saw that there were as an overlap on the right-hand side. Mitchell's been very heavily involved in this opening 3 minutes. He just drew the cover in, and a good ball out to Keithley's Davy Dixon. He dives over in the corner. Great start for Scotland. They go 4-0 up in as many minutes.
4 minutes on the clock then, and Chris Chester's Scotland side have the lead. And it has to be said, they've been the more aggressive in this opening 4 minutes. Yes, they got lucky with that ball on the floor, Phil, but they're looking to keep the ball alive. They're moving it. They look quite well structured at the moment.
Yeah, they got a back-to-back set of 6 with the dropout. That came on the back of a scrum as well, where they managed to get the put in on the halfway line because a Welsh hand was in there. They've made the most of their possession. Wales haven't had their hands on the ball yet, and that's exactly the start Scotland would have wanted. 4-0 up. Difficult conversion for Ryan Briley, but we've seen him in playing in the shirts of Lee and Toronto. He's got a chance of doing this.
He'll take his time here. 1 from 2 last weekend in the opening defeat in the European Championships. Can he make the 4 into 6 here and give Scotland a perfect start on home soil? Right-footed kicker then. Here he comes, right-footed, sends it on its way. It looks pretty good to me, and that has gone straight over from the sideline, and the 4-point lead turns into 6. Ryan Briley with the conversion. Scotland 6, Wales 0.
Exactly the start that Chris Chester and John Duffy would have wanted, the joint head coaches for Scotland. Fabulous conversion from Ryan Briley. That will imbue his side with confidence. They'll get the ball back from the kick-off. Let's see now what Scotland can do if they can back that up. Wales under pressure, and I think this Scotland forward pack have shown their gesture of intent early on.
They've got some real experience in that pack, the likes of Kavanagh and Wilkes and Bentley, of course, all operating at good levels. As the ball comes forward now with Scotland, they wrestle their way out of the 25. Wales yet to really get their hands on the ball, despite the fact we're 6 minutes in here as they come again down this right-hand side. I think they've clearly earmarked this as a potential weakness, the Welsh left edge, as the ball played to Bentley. He moves it now. Here's Bell. Bell gets it away to Briley. Briley gets it away to Mariano. Mariano slips the tackle, couldn't get the hands free, and he's wrapped up on halfway. We'll play the ball now. Bentley goes down the short side. Oscar Thomas quickly, and again here, the Scottish side are making big meters down the field, and Wales are rolling back here. They're going to go down the short side. Briley's going to dribble the kick into the corner. Is it going to find touch? No, Keir's got to pick it up on his own line. He's dragged back, but he'll get the ball about 5 off his own line. What a set from Chris Chester's Scotland. They lead 6-0.
Yeah, they've gone 80 metres there. Exactly what they would have wanted on the back of some really good forward play again. I think Nick Glowe's looking good, the Aussie, and obviously James Bell absolutely running the show in the middle of the field. He's a big defender as well. They now need to keep their discipline. That looks to me like a knock-on from the Welsh.
It is a knock-on, Phil, and Mariano in at the tackle, celebrates with his teammates. And it's going to be a scrum, head and feed here for Scotland, 15 metres out. Now, eyes on Ben Cassidy, the referee, but I think Philly's got that right. I think there was a little spill there. Yeah,
first possession of the Welsh. Keir did well to stay in the field of play. These are big in-goal areas as well here at Netherdale, but he kept in the field of play, and then he needed backup from the guys coming round from the play the ball, and the first challenge from Mariano. The ball spilt free, deemed to be a loose carry. Scotland have got the put in on the Welsh 10-metre line. This could be a really, really promising opening for the Bravehearts.
It is. They come here now. They move the ball here to Briley. Briley steps and gets the ball away to the fullback. They've got another chance here on this edge. This time Scott is wrapped up. The Batley Bulldogs man wrapped up just inside the 5. Here they go then, back to the middle they'll go. They're going to try and drive their way forward here. They're a couple of metres away from the try line. Bentley waits. Just to the right of centre, swings it now to Briley, drops the ball back here, taken forward by Kavanagh, the captain, but Wales wrap him up well. Ben Evans makes the tackle on his own line, but Wales are rocking here. They trail 6-0 as the ball now moved to Bell, who crashes over, and it's a second try for the Scots, and it's James Bell, a New Zealand Warriors man, who crashes over. Scotland lead here by 10 points to 0.
Absolutely perfect start, keeping up this point-a-minute barrage. A really expensive mistake by Wales, knocking the ball on their own 10-metre line. That gave the scrum feed to Scotland. A couple of knocks on the door, and then a lovely missed pass from Bentley. Just took the Welsh defence into two minds. Crashed over from Bell, who for me has been the standout so far in these opening 8 minutes. Working really, really hard, looking to promote the ball. He gets his just rewards, and you can't see Briley missing this one when he landed his last one from the touchline. And we expect Scotland to be 12-0 up inside the first 10 minutes. Great start for the home side.
Utterly dominant in this opening period as Ryan Briley has the ball on the kicking tee. You can see there just 10 metres out. It should be a formality, but you mentioned, Phil, the strength of this pack that Scotland have been able to put out tonight, the experience as well. They've been around a bit, some of these boys, and they know exactly what their job is, and at the moment, as we just await Briley to knock this through and make it a 12-point game, that pack are doing exactly what they have been asked to do. Here comes Briley then, second kick at goal, and he sends it through the middle. And it's a dream start here at Netherden for Scotland, looking for their first win of the European Championships. They lead Wales by 12 points to 0.
Yeah, no mistakes for the Bravehearts really in these opening 10 minutes. Again, I think you're absolutely right that the half-backs are directing the play, but it's all forward power at the moment. 4 of their forwards have got Super League experience. The other 2 from the NRL, James Bell with New Zealand Warriors, Nick Glone is an Aussie who is looking to make his name. Very, very proud of their heritage. I think that's showing at the moment. For me, the Welsh pack needs to step up. They're being overrun.
They are at the moment. John Keir's men not really had a hand on the ball as such yet, as Scotland bring the ball out of their own 20-metre area. They get it forward with the opening try scorer, Davy Dixon. Ball now goes back to the middle, and here again rumble the Scottish pack. Wales, I think, will just be happy to get hold of the ball as the tackle is made on Ollie Wilkes. Here now is Thomas, moves it wide. Mariano always a threat in that back row, but he's wrapped up this time. Good tackle in the end from Connor Davis. Ball now scooting forward. Good work again from the outside backs. It's Will Oakes, who's had plenty of Super League experience this year with the Hull Kingston Rovers side. Ball goes back to Briley. He's going high. Tester then for Elliot Keir. He's underneath it, set on the 10. Catches it comfortably and will bring it back. And for really what seems the first time in an eternity for Wales, 11 minutes on the clock, Phil, they're getting their hands on the ball.
Yeah, they have to complete this set of 6. It's the second possession that they've had. They never got past the second tackle with the first lot. It's a very committed Scottish defence coming in there, but the first priority for Wales, keep hold of the ball, make some ground, a good kick at the end of it.
Mike Butt on debut for Wales as well to scamper forward. He's followed by Rhys Williams, the London Broncos man, as the ball played over on the far side. Here they come. This is better from Wales. John Keir's side just finally starting to settle into the contest. It's Rodri Lloyd, a former Wigan Warriors youngster who's wrapped up on his own 40. Here they come again. Ball taken forward by Dan Fleming of Halifax. We've got quite a heavy Halifax contingent in this Welsh side tonight as a kick downfield, and now it's a turn of the wingman on this near side, David Dixon, to field the kick, and he does it quite comfortably in the end. It was a little bit of an aimless kick, wasn't it, Phil? Not too much pressure on the Batley wingman.
Yeah, really needed to be put behind him. We mentioned already that the in goals here are very wide, so I think that's the place to aim for with the kick. But the chase was quite good. It was disciplined. It was all in a line. I think that the Welsh will just be keen to have their hands on the ball. They'll be hoping now to eke an error out of the Scots. We haven't had a penalty yet. Here's our first one. For too long, holding down, and I suspect that was possibly very, very well done by Craig Robertson on his debut, the Edinburgh Eagle. He actually managed to lock the hand of the tackler in, but he gets the penalty. Yeah,
it's a bit of a cheeky one, that, isn't it? He was in control of that tackle there, Craig Robertson, but he's started well here on his Scotland debut. If you just joined us, 2 early tries. Davy Dixon inside 4 minutes and James Bell on 8. Have Scotland 12 points to the good here as they look to open up their winning tally in the European Championships and keep their qualification hopes for the World Cup 2021 firmly alive. Ball now goes up the middle, taken in by Kavanagh. The head bandaged, the eye bruised before a ball was kicked tonight. He's been in the wars already for Scotland this season. Briley now gets the ball out wide to Thomas, reaches out for it, gets it away, move it out wide. Here's a chance for the debutant. He skipped past one, but he's gone into touch. The referee and the touch judge between them say that he's gone into touch, but that was a good effort there from Robertson. He didn't have a lot of room to work with, but he tried to barge his way through. And if you're going to turn it over 10 metres from your opponent's line, it's not the worst place.
And he's given these opponents something to think about as well, that they can't necessarily give him too much latitude. They covered the outside well there, to be fair to the Welsh, rode him into touch. The interesting, Edinburgh Eagles, one of 4 domestic clubs playing in Scotland. They lost the grand final last year to Strathmore, who entered the Challenge Cup as Scotland's representatives. They went out at Millen, but there is a resurgence in the Scottish domestic game, and Edinburgh Eagles are at the forefront of it.
Yeah, speaking of Chris Chester, the Scotland coach, before the game, he said there's certainly some talent. It'll be interesting what a stage it is for these guys to perform here in the European Championships, and hopefully for them further on to the World Cup in 2021. There's a bit of a swinging arm there, but a good offload from Wales. Ball goes on the ground. There's no immediate panic from Connor Davis, and he takes the ball forward, and Wales up towards halfway. This is better. Oh, they've lost it again, but the referee, Ben Castey, says no, that is a penalty against Scotland. And finally, with almost 15 minutes on the clock, Wales are going to enjoy good ball inside the Scotland half.
Yeah, going to get their first possession on or around the Scottish 20-metre line. Be interesting to see what they can do with it. It's an unusual half-back pairing. Elliot Jenkins on debut and Josh Ralph. So it'd be interesting to see how quickly they knit together, what combination they come up with.
James Olds taps the ball. So in the pre-match festivities that he's got a fan club here with him tonight. They'll be hoping to see him get over the whitewash. As forward they come. That looked high, and it's going to be a back-to-back penalties here. Ben Evans was taken high by Scotland, and this is a real chance for John Keir's men now to put pressure on the Scottish line, and it's up to Scotland to defend. It was Bell who went high. No complaints there from Scotland as the ball is driven forward now. Here comes Dan Fleming. He's 5 metres away. Huge chances for Wales to get off the zero. Short pass here. They're looking to try and force Ben Evans over. He's up to the line, but he can't quite turn his body and get that ball over there. Checking. Everyone's onside. They're going to try and sneak one from dummy half. They can't get there, but there's a gap here on this left-hand edge. If they can promote the ball, it's Chester Butler. He's wrapped up 5 metres away. Best we've seen from Wales, but can they unlock this Scottish defence as they move it now towards the centre of the field? And again, it's Fleming, a commanding figure in the middle of the park for the Welsh side. Ball now 8 metres away. They come back to the left. Short pass, good defending again on Butler, and he's wrapped up, and the referee says this is the last tackle. Told to get on with it. Parry swings the ball. Little chip kick in goal. It's going to stay in the field of play. Is it? Oh, it's touched down, but it's just gone over the line. Rodri Lloyd was a split second too late. The referee right on the spot says it's a 7-tackle, 20-metre restart for Scotland.
Yeah, quick tap from Oscar Thomas as well. I think that Wales just needed to be better on that last tackle play. They needed to keep the ball in the in-goal area to force the drop out. They were just getting some resurgence. Been very impressed with Dan Fleming, but they've left the door open now for Scotland to come back at them. Bell trying to atone for his high tackle with another good plunging run.
Scotland leading 12-0. Ooh, that pass looked forward. It was in front of us here. They get away with one there. The Scottish side, they'll be buoyed by that defensive effort on their own goal line as Thomas moves the ball away. Here comes Wilkes, takes it forward. He's picked up but gets the pass away to Bentley. Bentley with a little dummy, ball in one hand, did well in the end to hang on to it. And Scotland now find themselves 30 metres out. Ball now goes to Briley. He again will hammer the kick to the corner, and he finds touch about 5 metres away. Perfect kick from Ryan Briley, and Scotland here, Phil, well in command at 12 points to 0.
Yeah, much better exits there from Briley. Knew exactly where he wanted to place that kick on the last, right in the corner. Gives his forwards a bit of a break, who've been really, really good. Interesting looking at the shape of Kane Bentley without being in any way disrespectful to him. He's larger than the average hooker, but again he's very alert. He's giving good early ball to the strong running forwards, particularly as we mentioned James Bell. I think he's been really good. Frankie Mariano, Oliver Wilkes and Ben Kavanagh will cart the ball up all day, but they're getting good service from their halfback. His passing is really sharp, and of course we did see Kane Bentley play for France in an earlier life.
We did indeed. Ball coming forward here with Wales. They trail by 12, but there's still plenty of time here to get back into this one. 20 metres out from their own line, and now another penalty. And Ben Cassie, I think, is getting rather concerned by the speed of the play of the ball. He wants to see these two teams getting up and getting on with it, and that's good as well for us, the viewer.
Yeah, Scotland got the first penalty. Wales have had the next 3 in succession. Normally it goes penalty, penalty, try. They couldn't make the most of that last time. See if they can this one.
Yeah, they kick the ball up to halfway here at Netherdale. There's a ball coming forward, and again it's Evans who leads the charge. He's started really well, and Wales will want to see him going forward with the ball in his hand, as they will Dan Fleming, who follows up with another good carry. And Wales just starting to get a footrest in here after early tries from Dixon and Bell. Put Scotland 12-0 up. Here's a movement. Great work defensively from Mitchell. He shot out of the line there and put a hit on Elliot Keir as Keir was looking to get free. As now they go back up the middle. Ball on the floor. Kept alive, though, by the Welsh. They move it out now. Here's Jenkins, the Rochdale man on debut. His tackle. Ball now comes forward. There's a gap there. Someone switched off in the Scottish defence, and Fleming's going for it. Now Mariano has ripped that out in a one-on-one steal, and that is absolute quality from Frankie Mariano. He saw the danger. He shut the ball down. He grabbed the ball, and Scotland have it back.
Yeah, really, really good work, because it looked as though there was a gap for Fleming. You mentioned there that it looked as though somebody had switched off in the Scotland defence. I think it was James Bell who was just caught out positionally, but Mariano rescued it for his mate, stealing the ball from Fleming, and that's another big save for Scotland.
It is. He's experienced like that as well, Mariano. He's been around Super League. He's a top quality player. He's had his misfortunes with a lot of injuries, but he's here putting his hand up for Scotland tonight as Oscar Thomas gets the ball away on the far side. Here's the debutant Robertson. Another good carry from him. 12 points to 0. Scotland lead. Ball played infield. Thomas tries to step away, gets the kick away off his left foot. Bit of a hurried kick, and Keir catches it on the front foot. He's already up to the 30. He's scampering across. Can he slip the tackle? He does. Gets the ball away. Lovely play here from Wales. A break down their left-hand side, and this could be a chance here for Rhys Williams, but he's dragged down 20 metres away. What a play from the London duo. Keir got it to Williams, and Williams scampers away, and now Wales asking questions. Middle of the park with Butler. Butler looking to get the pass away. Takes the tackle. Scotland have scrambled back. That's going to be a penalty, surely, against the Scottish. No, play on, says the referee. Real messing about the play of the ball. They move it wide. Here come the Welsh. They've got the chance on the far side here, and it goes to Williams. Cuts in and he scores. Gets the ball on the line, and Wales open their account. Wonderful hands on this left-hand side, and they get it to the flying winger. Rhys Williams denied a couple of tackles earlier, but he gets the ball on the whitewash. What a pass. And it's Scotland 12, Wales 4.
What a great finish from Wales's record try scorer. Rhys Williams extends it at the top. I believe that might be his 30th international try, which is a phenomenal record. But all came from a brilliant break by Elliot Keir at the back, the skipper. He sized up the opportunity, took the Scottish defence on, slipped the ball away to Williams in the first instance, who did really well to stay in the field of play. Williams keeping himself alive, and when the ball came back, lovely pass from young Ben Morris, and a great jink into the corner from Williams. Wales are back in this game for the first 12-13 minutes, completely out of it. 3 penalties on the bounce, and all of a sudden 12-4 back in contention.
We talk about experience, in the build up to that try, Williams could have tried to go around the outside, but he held his ground and he stayed in the field of play, and he set play up nicely for his teammates, and he wasn't to be denied shortly after. Well, we saw the James Olds fan club earlier on. I'm sure they'll be singing here tonight at Netherdale if he can stick this kick over from the sideline. He's about a metre in from touch. We saw Ryan Briley slot one over from a similar position. Can Olds add the extras and get Wales back within 6. Taking his time. Here he comes, right-footed, 3-step run-up, sends it on its way, but he hasn't quite got the line right, and it's waved away. Scotland 12, Wales 4 here in the European Championship. It's also a World Cup 2021 qualifier. I think John Keir would have been a little bit disappointed with the opening 15 minutes or so, Phil, but his side, they're back in it on the back of that Rhys Williams score.
Yeah, created by skipper Elliot Keir. He'll be pleased about that. He'll be pleased with the way that the opportunity was carved out on the left-hand side. That looked like an area of concern defensively, but on attack, no problem at all. And James Olds made his debut last week. Didn't miss a kicked 3 out of 3. Just missed this one. Comes from West Panthers in Brisbane, the club of a certain Tony Curry.
Ball kicked downfield by Thomas. Oh, now is that an accidental offside by Wales? It is, because they've gone to trap the ball in goal and it's hit the man in front. It was Dan Fleming who was inadvertently offside, and what that means is that Wales are going to have to drop the ball out from underneath their own post, and a real lucky break there for Scotland.
Yeah, I think Wales was saying that it was Fleming that trapped it and Fleming picked it up, but it did graze one of his colleagues, so that is accidental offside. I think referee Ben Casty absolutely right. He's just explaining to the Welsh why he's made that decision, but quite clearly Fleming tried to trap the ball and his teammate couldn't get out of the way.
The goal line restart is picked up and driven in now. That's a determined carry from the Scottish side. And they're now, just 20 metres away here. They'll move the ball. Inside the 20 they go. It's Billy McConaughey that's on off the bench. Ball now comes forward. Here they go with Briley. Briley gets it out the back to Thomas. Thomas gets it away to the fullback, Scott. And there are a few groans from the fans down at pitch side as he's hit hard in the tackle, Scott. But he'll play the ball now. Here they go. Up the middle again, just trying to settle things up. You see Briley there just trying to organise the troops as Kavanagh, the captain, is tackled 8 metres out. Which way do they go? They go left here. Chance to move the ball. Another short pass. Last tackle, says the referee. They're going to go out to their left-hand edge. Thomas with a little grubber kick. This is going to stay in the field of play. And it's grounded by Butt, the debutant for Wales. Did really well on the far side. And we saw there, Phil, such is the depth of these in-goal areas. You just have to dribble it over the line, and it's very difficult for the defenders. Wales are going to have to give Scotland the ball back, courtesy of a goal line dropout.
And this will be tiring the Welsh defence out. Back-to-back sets of 6. Conceding a dropout from the kick-off when they just got back into the game, and then a really clever finish. I think McConaughey's out there. He's somebody we need to look for. Again, he's got a reputation for his defensive fearsomeness. We saw that, I think, in the World Cup last year. Here he is now. He's going to make a real difference, I think, charging onto the ball.
He is a big man, and he takes some putting down, and Scotland leading 12-4 here. They'll feel if they can get the next points, it just gives them that little bit more of a cushion as they come up the middle. The change is starting to be made now by Chris Chester as Luckley on off the bench. He gets the ball away and they scamper forward now with Lewis Clark, the dummy half. So the changes coming thick and fast for Scotland. It's Luckley in at dummy half. He stands, he has a look, he goes himself, he's a strong boy. He's up to the line, but he couldn't quite reach out and put the ball on the whitewash. Here's Briley now as they come to the side. Miss out pass, chance, it's gone to ground. It's touched by a Welsh hand, a boot, and it's picked up by Williams. That was a chance for Murray Mitchell. I think he saw the defender coming, Phil. He took his eye off the ball, and Wales get it back.
I think Williams read that really well as well. He could see that Briley was going to lob the ball out wide. I think he could see as well that the Welsh defence was going to be caught short on that side. So he made the decision to come in, made the crunching tackle, forced the mistake, and had the presence of mind to pick up the ball as well. So well done, Rhys Williams.
Wales are getting some quick play of the balls, and the referee again, Mr. Casty, says that there was hanging on there. It was Lewis Clark just trying to slow Wales down. And that, you feel, is what Wales need to do. They need to try and speed this up, don't they, and try and move these big forwards of Scotland around the park.
Yeah, Scotland, not for the first time, Chris Chester making multiple interchanges. He put McConaughey, Luckley and Clark all on together. So he's obviously changing it up. He can probably see a little bit of fatigue in his ranks, and Wales need to capitalise on this. Curtis Davies, he's on as well for the Welsh. He's going to hope to do that.
He is. He gets it away to Fleming, who's been immense thus far for the Welsh. They trail by 8 here at Netherdale as they rumble forward inside the 20, almost up to the 10. There's more laying on at the tackle. That time it was Gavin Benyon, the Salford Red Devil, who was tackled. The ball moved out wide on this near side to Butler. He plays it quickly. A chance here for Wales if they can keep the ball alive. But Ben Morris this time can't provide the pass that he provided early when Williams scored in the corner. But Wales on the try line, looking for another try here. There's a nice little step inside the 10. Can they keep it alive? They do. Play on, says the referee. And they almost get to the line. Curtis Davis trying to duck underneath the tackle. There's a man down on the line. Wales aren't bothered, and they try and get the ball over the line, but they're held up on the last. It was a brave effort from Evans, but the Scotland defence really on the ropes there. They hung on their own line.
They were, and I'm not sure that Evans took the right option there, because they had three defenders marshalling close in, but there was a real gap out wide where Williams was. I think that was perhaps a missed opportunity on the last tackle, and one thing John Keir won't be happy about is, yes, his team are back in the game, but their last tackle plays at the moment are leaving something to be desired.
12-4 to Scotland. They led early on. David Dixon on 4 minutes, James Bell on 8 minutes, 2 goals for Briley, but we've just seen Rhys Williams narrow the gap for Wales, and you have to say at the moment Wales are really starting to get into this one, as they have Scotland penned inside their own 30-metre area. They move the ball out wide. Here goes Kavanagh. Be interesting how many minutes they can get out of him tonight, Chris Chester. I think he'll be reluctant to bring him off at the moment, such as his dominance in the middle of the park. Bit of a looping pass, and again here Scotland is struggling to get out of their own territory at the moment. Referee said that's the last tackle. They'll play the ball now inside the 40. They go out the back to Thomas. Left-footed kick downfield. It's a good kick as well. It's allowed to bounce, and it'll come to rest just 10 metres off the line as Keir brings it forward. The London Bronco, he's thinking about the big speculative pass out wide. He's got the defenders caught in two minds, and he's eventually tackled 20 off his own try line. And again, they're coming down the short side, but Keir's a real live wire at the back, isn't he?
Oh, he's the danger. Him and Williams have brought Wales back into this game, and he needs to get his hands on the ball as much as possible, because he is creating doubt in the minds of the Scottish defenders.
Williams, a try scorer, gets the ball away. Josh Ralph drops the ball back inside, and they're up towards the halfway line here, Wales. Just under 12 to go to half-time in this European Championship match. Both sides, remember, beaten last week, so they need to win here to keep not only their hopes of the European Championship title alive, but also their World Cup 2021 qualifying hopes. The top two qualify for World Cup 2021 as a high kick's a scuffed one. It's caught on the far side. They'll kick it again here, Wales. They've gone down the sideline, and this is going to stay in goal. They've got to deal with this. They back the wingman and tackled in goal. Now, that was a kick off the hoof there by James Olds, but he has got the ball in the in-goal area, and the debutant Robertson couldn't get out. That was a good kick on the off chance from Wales, and they're going to get the ball back.
Yeah, I'm not sure Elliot Jenkins meant to put in such a shallow kick, but certainly Olds made the best of it. We mentioned it already, these in goals are very, very wide, and if you can get the ball to sit up in there, the likelihood is you're going to get a goal line drop out. Scotland have had 2, Wales have had 2, but Wales are getting more into this game on the back of Scotland's indiscipline. 4 penalties to 1 at the moment, but as we've said, Wales need to be more creative on their last tackle. They're fine getting to the Scottish line, but John Keir will want more out of his halves, I think, creating, perhaps moving the ball out wide. There's real threat in Williams. They have to get the ball in his hands.
They do indeed. The goal line restart will be caught just outside the 40. It's fed in by Ralph here. Now the ball comes forward with Wales. They'll start their set 30 metres out. They trail by 8. Here they come forward again with Morgan Evans. He carries it forward over the 20. Can Wales narrow the gap even further? They're moving the ball to their right-hand side. Thomas shoots out of the line and put a shot on Ralph there. He didn't quite finish the job, but he allowed his teammates to come in and help him out. Luckily finishes the tackle. Ball goes now to the right-hand side, and it's Rodri Lloyd who gets the ball away. Chance here for Wales. Can they get the pass away? No. And Keir wrapped up a metre out from the Scottish try line as Wales look for try number 2. Ball comes across to the middle. Ralph steps, but he's hit. What a tackle. Big shot right underneath the crossbar from the Scotland defence. They come into this left edge again. That's where they see the threat. Neat grubber kick. It's handed back and touched dead by Davy Dixon. It's going to be a 3rd successive set for Wales, and John Keir, I think, will be happier with that set from his Welsh outfit.
Yeah, he's getting concerted possession. You can see that some of the Scotland forwards have got their hands on their knees, but what a hit from McConaughey. We were told to watch out for him and how dangerous he could be. If I was Josh Ralph, I wouldn't go anywhere near him for the next 50 minutes.
Well, he had a look and he opted to go for it, and he paid the penalty. 10 minutes. The clock's still running here. The referee just stopped play, though, for some treatment here. The thumb has gone up from the physio.
This is something we're seeing too much in the game at the moment. Every time a team concedes a goal line dropout, a player is injured. We need a shot clock. We need to stop this.
Well, it was Ben Kavanagh. He has put in a sterling opening 30 minutes, Phil. Maybe just having a cheeky little breather while he could and slowing the play down. As here come Wales then, set number 3 at the line. They'll bring it forward. They'll start just outside the 20. This is a good position for John Keir's Wales, and it's going to be made even better now because they've got a penalty, and you just wonder here how long Scotland can hang on. They lead 12-4, but you just feel that the interchanges have hurt them more than helped them at the moment.
Yeah, Gavin Bennion there milking the penalty, quite rightly. I think there was a Scottish hand in there, but he's made a difference coming off the bench as well.
Ball in the middle of the park. Here they go now. They swing it again, and Ralph caught this time. Josh Ralph, 10 metres out. Ball will be played here by Davis. Davis goes to Fleming. Fleming opts to go it alone. He won't be put off by those big forwards, middle of the pack. He's wrestled down 2 metres away. Wales will swing the ball. Ralph now's got numbers out the back. Oh, it's a poor pass. And it's knocked on this near side by Ben Morris. He knew as soon as the pass came to him, all he could do was try and stop the danger, because had he missed it, Scotland could maybe have broken away. What a disappointing end to a real spell of pressure from Wales. It's still Scotland 12, Wales 4.
Consecutive goal line dropouts earned by Wales, a better kicking game at the end of their sets of 6, but they needed to capitalise on that. Right, probably to shift the ball again to the left-hand side, but the quality of pass had to be better from Ralph. And I'm in awe of the physical contact that Ralph takes. He's quite a slight guy, but he's not averse to running up the biggest ones in the Scottish defence, and he's getting hammered every time he does, and on that occasion he just needed a better quality of pass. I couldn't blame Morris. It was down at his feet, but a snappier ball out to the left-hand side, and Wales will win dividends. But I think that's what will upset John Keir at the moment. They've got a platform in the game with those back-to-back goal line dropouts. They've nothing to show for it.
No, they haven't, indeed. As the ball with Scotland, they led 12 points to nil inside the opening 10 minutes. Since then, it's been a much more even battle. Tries for Dixon and Bell had them in front before Williams got one back, the London Broncos man in the corner. Ball with Scotland as they now carry it towards their 40 and just beyond, as Bentley back in at dummy half will look to get the ball away to Briley. Briley turns it back inside, but they're waiting here, Wales. They feel they've got the measure of this Scottish forward pack at the moment. They're trying to keep the ball alive, and in the end they did really well to hang on to that. It's a scruffy play of the ball. Bentley rolls forward out of dummy half. He kicks ahead for Briley. Planned move, but Keir was alert to it, and Keir picks it up and now will look to launch his own counter-attack, but he's wrapped up 30 away. We've seen Ryan Briley, do that so many times, looking for that short kick. Just that time, just a little roll too far. Yeah,
I think the speed of Briley can cause real problems, but he hasn't had the chance to get the ball in open field. That was a lovely little kick in behind. The bounce didn't favour him. Keir read it really, really well, and again launched the counter-attack with Williams coming now on the back of it. And this is how Wales have got themselves back into the game. It's John Keir's modus operandi that he's preferred, and it's working for them at the moment.
Ball 40 metres out from the Scottish line. They trail 12-4 the Welsh. Here's Ralph, did well to get that pass away because he knew what was coming if he held on to it. And it was the shoulder of a Scottish defender. Ball now goes high. Here's Ralph with a kick. Tester here at the back for David Scott. Under pressure, ball goes on the ground. It's hacked ahead by Wales. They pick it up, and this could be a try in the corner. And it's Elliot Jenkins on his Welsh debut who celebrates in the corner. And Wales do hit back, a second try for them. The high kick not dealt with by Scott. The ball came free, and it's picked up by the man on the spot, Jenkins, who dives over in the corner. And the lead is now down to 4, Scotland 12, Wales 8.
Now Wales have forced their way back into this game. A good kick on the last by Ralph. Keir, a great challenge to just got in Scott's eye line, meant that Scott was unsure of exactly where the ball was. And like all good halfbacks do, following up for a potential mistake. Great news for debutant Elliot Jenkins. Not only does he make his Wales debut, which is I know he's incredibly proud of, virtually at the start of his professional rugby league career, but he's got a try to show for it as well. And from being 12-0 down and seemingly out of it within the first 10 minutes, as we're approaching half-time, safe to say that the Wales are back in this contest.
They are indeed. And this kick, if it's successful, would reduce the deficit to 2. Now we've seen Olds already miss one from out on this near side. He's a little bit closer in, maybe 5 metres in from touch. Right-footed kick, has he learned from his last miss? Let's see. Again, he waits and takes his time. Here he comes, right-footed. Oh, again, he's pulled it. Never quite got the angle right there. And these kicks could be crucial. Ryan Briley has kicked 2 for Scotland. And Olds has missed 2 for Wales. Score here, Scotland 12, Wales 8.
2 tries each. I think, certainly Chris Chester and John Duffy would be really pleased with the start Scotland made, but all of the possession on the back of penalties has been Wales for the last 10-12 minutes of the game. 5-1 the penalty count. 3-2 goal line dropouts. That tells you something, both in the favour of Wales, as to why this game has swung their way in the last 10 or 15 minutes. And we've got about 6 minutes, I think, of the half to go, and Scotland need to reassert themselves. They were very, very good in the opening stages. They now need to get their hands on the ball. They've lost the initiative. Full credit to Wales for winning it back, all on the back of Elliot Keir and Rhys Williams. Yeah,
devilishly difficult kick-off to deal with, but this time Wales do so without making any errors. 5 to go to the break here at Netherdale. We're in the borders tonight for European Championship Rugby League. It's Scotland against Wales. The winner will keep their hopes of qualification to the 2021 World Cup alive for this season. There's a ball. Neat hands from Wales. They're trying to move these forwards about now, and they come down the short side here with Keir into the line. He's looked to thread all night, and he's wrapped up just outside his 40, and there's another penalty. Well, you spoke about this Scottish indiscipline. There's a few complaints from the Scottish fans down in front of us, but they've got to be careful. Keir, they're saying he wasn't held there, but clearly the referee said he was.
Yeah, I think the referee got that right as well, and this is something that Scotland really do need to eradicate from their game if they're going to stay in control and in the lead, because Wales coming with the wet sail at the end of this half.
They are, and they're looking to draw level here with Fleming. He's inside the 20. Wales trailing by 4. 4 to go to the break. As the ball now comes infield. Ball is 7 metres out. Ball now goes out wide. Here they go, moving it out to Keir. Big miss out pass. It could be into the corner. Mike Butt has dived in, and the referee wants to check. No, he says he didn't get it down, Mike Butt. Agony for the debutant. He thought he'd opened up his account. It was great hands. Keir with a miss out ball, and Butt here, you'd fancy him to score. It's great defence, but the referee says he's dropped it as he went to ground it.
Ooh, I think the referee probably would have gone to the video screen if we'd had one here. I think that's touch and go. Certainly the Scotland players seem to think that there had been a drop ball as Butt went over there, but I think the Welsh genuinely thought he'd got it down. Butt himself didn't look too convincing, but that replay from behind, it looks as though he may have actually got the ball down before it squirmed out.
Well, I will say for Mike Butt, he didn't complain, did he? And generally, that is a sign. I think had he have scored on his international debut, he might have put up a little bit more protest than that. But it's 12 points to 8. And just a warning, if Scotland are going to keep giving away territory, then Wales are going to keep knocking on the door. Denied this time, they trail by 4. Around about 2.5 minutes to go to half-time here in the European Championships. So Scotland come forward now. Up to the 20 they go, and it's important, I feel, they get in at half-time in front here, Phil.
Yeah, they made such a good start that I think if they were to consider trying these last 2 or 3 minutes, it would be a really different half-time team talk from Messrs Chester and Duffy. So, yeah, Scotland need to hold on and start the second half the way they did the first. For the Welsh, they just need to get their hands on the ball, because they are now starting to create more and more opportunities.
Ball coming forward with Scotland. It's my understanding there's round about 30 seconds more than on the official clock here. So round about 2.5 minutes still to go in this first half, as Scotland will look to kick with Briley. He dinks it over the top. looking for the touchline, but Keir again is there. He's everywhere at the moment, the London Broncos fullback, and he brings the ball forward. He bumps off the challenge. He goes again. He's in outstanding form tonight, Elliot Keir.
He's brought Wales right back into this game. An absolute captain's knock from Elliot Keir. So we mentioned it 3 or 4 times in this half. On the back of what Keir does, immediately comes Williams. He's just done it again, made another good 10 metres, and I think both of those two players have started this Welsh revival.
Scotland 12, Wales 8. Remember, probably 30 seconds or so to add on to that game clock there. So there's still time here for Wales. Ralph goes up the middle, skips a tackle, and no forward pass. Now, there were appeals from the Scottish fans down below us here, and those appeals were heard by the referee, and he said that was a forward pass, and it's a scrum, and a much-needed one here for Scotland as they approach half-time.
Yeah, the referee had a quick bagpipe in his ear then telling him that pass was forward. I'm not sure, it looked lateral to me. We're right in line with it, and certainly Ralph didn't think it was forward. He was off like he'd been shot out of a gun. He tried really hard as Ralph, but you just wonder, can you take all this punishment over 40 minutes and still function? I've nothing but admiration for the smaller man.
12-8 here. Scotland, who were in front by 12 points to 0. Tries for David Dixon and James Bell had the Scots seemingly in control before Rhys Williams and Elliot Jenkins on his debut have got Wales right back in it. As now Scotland will look to see out the half here. Could well be the final set as they bring the ball forward. Taken in by Will Oakes. He's wrapped up. Ball now comes forward. Big collision, middle of the park. And this time McConaughey gets some of his own medicine. The Welsh defence were waiting and they let him know.
I think that was Fleming. You said have a dose of that yourself.
It's been good Fleming tonight. Ball now comes down this short side. They're up to the 40-metre mark. They keep the ball alive. Bentley gets a miss-out pass, but it's gone on the ground. Picked up by Thomas. He turns it back inside for Luckley. Luckley will carry it forward. They're 30 metres out here. Coming to the conclusion of this first half, they lead by 12 points to 8. It's a really slow play of the ball. I think they were trying to milk a penalty. Here's Briley. Big left foot, right foot step, goes through the line, but dragged down just inside the 30. And again, it's a slow play of the ball for the Scottish side. Ball now goes to the fullback, gets it out wide on this near side. There's a missed tackle there on Murray Mitchell. Mitchell is wrapped up. And that is half-time, and Scotland will go in at the break here, leading by 12 points away. Tries from Dixon and Bell had them in front as Williams and Jenkins got them back. It's half-time here at Netherdale in the European Championships. It's Scotland 12, Wales 8. £12 points to 8 then for the Scottish side here. As a troop off, and I think a half of two halves, Phil. Scotland in control early on, Wales coming back into it. Yeah,
I was going to say exactly that. The players troop off as the rain comes down here in Netherdale. It's going to make it difficult again in the second half. I think the start from Scotland was exactly what their coaching staff would have wanted. Very determined, looked after the ball really well, posted a couple of tries inside the first 10 minutes, looked like they created the platform to really go on with it, but their indiscipline allowed Wales back in, giving away 5 consecutive penalties. Wales haven't made the most of that, but they've done enough with 2 tries themselves. I think Fleming has been fantastic in the middle of the field. Kieran Williams have led the revival. Wales are in this game. The last time these sides met finished 18-12 to Wales in the European Championship. You wouldn't bet against that on what we saw in the last 15 minutes of this first half. If Scotland come out as they did at the beginning of the first half, then I think they'll be primed. They'll want to get that forward intensity that they had at the beginning of the game with their starting pack back at the beginning of the second 40.
Yeah, they will indeed. A dream start for the Scots then. Dixon and Bell had them in front. Rhys Williams and Jenkins getting the Welsh back into it. 12 points to 8. Right, let's join our pitchside summariser, James Vikmurovic, here at Netherdale.
Thanks, guys. I'm here at pitchside with the former Wales international and the chairman of Wales Rugby League, Brian Julieth, and the chairman of Scotland Rugby League, Keith Hogg. Keith, to you first. Good performance from your team in the first half. How do you feel you can build from there?
Well, I think we made a good start, then Wales put us under pressure. We've got to come out at the beginning of the second half and do exactly the same thing. Need a nice, fast start.
And Brian, looking at the performance of your side in the first half, do you feel your team woke up as the half went on?
Well, look, we prepared well, and I think, we're getting back into the game now. Scotland has started very well, really well structured. They had the momentum first half. We missed a few tackles, and I think we've come back into the game, and we'll grow. These boys won't give up. These Welsh boys won't give up. They'll keep coming, and I think the second half, bit of momentum, can go either way. It's a good game. I'm enjoying it.
And for you both, do you feel that there were lessons learnt from last week that you've taken forward into this week? I'll go to you first, Keith.
Definitely. This is quite a challenging tournament in terms of the time that the guys get together. They don't get that much time training and developing the team spirit. That extra week clearly benefits all the teams, and you can see that out there in terms of the performance of both Scotland and Wales.
And Brian, for yourself?
Yeah, we started slowly last week, and I think we've done the same this week. These boys come out to the blocks and put pressure on us, and we've given a few points away early on. But now, I think we've prepared well, like I said earlier. We're back in the game, and I think the second half will be a good second half.
And Keith, for yourself, what does it mean to bring European Championship Rugby League back to the borders of Scotland?
Well, it's very important though. We played 2 games here previously, and amazingly it was 3 and 4 years ago. This is just part of our long-term plan in terms of developing the sport in Scotland. They love their rugby here, and you can tell that they love their rugby here.
And finally, Brian, what would retaining this championship and qualifying for the World Cup mean for you in Wales?
Look, we've come to win this game tonight, and we want to win against Ireland next week. It would be good if we could qualify. It's important to get through this tournament now, because we've got a lot of boys sat at home watching this, and it frustrates me that they aren't supporting these boys out here tonight. We want to go into the tournament, the next week's end of the tournament, as a winner tonight.
Well, thank you both. 2 men are very passionate about the game. We want to see their countries do well. Back to you guys.
Cheers, James. Both sides passionate about winning here. And of course, Phil Kaplan alongside me. It means a lot to everyone. Let's have a look at the tries then that we've seen here in the first half. The tries opened up by Davy Dixon here, the Batley Bulldogs winger. Great hands down the short side, Phil. And Dixon, well, a championship winger of his ilk. He's going to score that every day of the week.
Yeah, lovely overlap created by Bell. He saw that the fact that the Welsh defence had been drawn in. Mitchell timed his pass perfectly. Dixon diving over in the corner, and Briley adding the extras to that as well. So 6-0, great start for Scotland.
Yeah, second try came shortly after on 8 minutes. A bit more route one here as Bell just barged his way over. James Bell, the New Zealand Warriors player. And Chris Chester alerted to us before the game, Phil, that Bell is a quality operator. I think he's shown it tonight. It was basic, but he was there in the right place to score the try.
I think the opening 15 minutes he was the quality player on the field, but that's been created by a lovely no-look pass from Kane Bentley. Looked as though he was going to throw the ball short, just a little bit wider to Bell. Bell knew that ball was coming, crashed onto it from close in, and again the second conversion from Briley, 12-0.
Yeah, and here came the try after a great break from Williams himself. He was denied, but what a lovely one-handed pass from Ben Morris. A real try creator that, wasn't it? Out of the back of the hand, and Williams again. He's got the quality. He's been in Super League. He knows where the line is.
Yeah, we need more of that from Morris. A lovely flick pass out the back, and a great finish as well from Williams. That's what he's done all his Welsh career.
And here, Scotland unable to deal with a high ball. It ricocheted kindly, and what a moment for Elliot Jenkins. His opening try on his debut here. He'll probably not score an easier one, but it opened up nicely, and he didn't panic. He got the ball over the line and got Wales right back in it.
Yeah, it's a bit chilly here. It would have been easy to knock that ball on, but he timed his run perfectly, stayed onside. It's a really good kick from Ralph. Keir did well to go up and challenge David Scott for the ball, and Jenkins on hand to gather and slide over. Unfortunately for Wales, Olds couldn't manage his second conversion. 2 tries each, but still 4 points the difference between the teams.
Well, they were nearly level, weren't they? Here's the moment. Keir gets the ball out wide to Mike Butt, making his Welsh debut. We think at this point he's gone in, and it looked like he got the ball down, but I think his reaction probably said, and looking at it from the back there, Phil, it did look on second glance like he bounced it.
Yeah, I think he knew full well that he hadn't scored, because he didn't leap up and take the acclamation from his teammates. But a lovely pass again from Keir, and what we should say is everything that Wales are doing is Keir. That is who Scotland have got to take in hand if they're going to come out of this game. Victor's on the other side. Elliot Keir, the Welsh captain, is having a wow of a game.
He is indeed. 12 points to 8. Scotland lead here at Netherdale. Waiting the two teams out for the second half. I'm sure There'll have been words exchanged, but before we get the two teams out for the second half, let's head back to James down on the sideline. He's got a special guest for us here at Netherdown.
Thanks, Mark. I'm here with the CEO of the Rugby League International Federation, Nigel Wood. Nigel, thank you for joining me. It's a busy period of international rugby league at the moment. We've got games being played all over the place. How pleased are you to see teams playing competitive games at this level on the road to 2021?
Oh, listen, it's a wonderful time of year. As you say, there is international rugby league being played all over the globe. I mean, last month we had the Emerging Nations World Cup when 11 nations who you wouldn't believe played rugby league fought out a great competition in Sydney. And of course we've got some of the heavyweights in Australia, New Zealand, Tonga and England all playing. Next couple of weeks we've got the World Cup qualifiers over in the Americas when there's a South American side playing for the first time. You know, Chile are playing in that competition, and that'll be another great competition. Of course, everything that's going on here in Europe. There's more international rugby league being played now than ever before. I think 40 nations have played international rugby league in the last 12 months, and that's a pretty good story for the sport.
And where do you see the international game progressing after the 2021 World Cup?
We need more nations playing more international rugby league in a more structured competition. That's what the ambition is for the sport. You know, we've got a great sport. People like to play it. People like to watch it. And our job as administrators is to provide people with the playing opportunities that they need. So I think the guys running the 21 World Cup will do an outstanding job, and they will deliver the best tournament that we've had. But we say that about every World Cup, don't we?
Well, finally, you have the the Rugby League International Federation Congress this week, with over 30 nations taking part. What are the sort of main goals that you want to get from that?
Oh, that's an annual event that we put on, and it's an opportunity for us as a board of directors to be held accountable by our members, to set out our vision for the future, to respond to questions, to support the nations, to set out what we think the international calendar would be. There's a big topic on governance, because we've got so many nations now that want to be part of our family, that we have to look at our governance to make sure that it's right for such a diverse community. And it's a great chance for the international community to come together. And as you say, we've got 20-30 nations there. We're in York, and it'll be a really productive week.
I mean, looking ahead to 2021, what would you consider to be a successful World Cup?
More people watching it than ever before, more viewers watching it, more people in the stadium watching it before, more legitimate heavyweights playing the sport and actually taking the competition deep and having some real jeopardy from quarterfinals onwards. And I think really people enjoying the sport. I think one of the objectives for the organisers is to use the new digital era as a great opportunity for our sport. So there's lots of different objectives for us, but really world sport attracts people into your sport like nothing before, and if we can build upon what was achieved in 13 and 17 and deliver some great contests in full stadiums and with atmospheric crowds and pitches being broadcast around the world, then we'll have done our jobs.
And do you feel the sport is on the right track at the moment in terms of the marketing and development of the game?
Well, there's more rugby league being played internationally than ever before. As I said, there are 40 nations played already this year. I think next year that will be north of 50. We are in the process of applying for recognition by GAFES, and we've got observer status there. We'll need 40 accredited nations there. You know, we should be proud of our sport. We've got a great sport. It's a great sport. People want to play it. Young men and young women want to play it. We've got a great wheelchair version of the game. People want to watch it, and there's no reason why the international rugby league shouldn't go from strength to strength.
Nigel, thank you very much for your time. As Nigel says, there's a lot of international development going on and all different levels of the game being played. Back to you guys.
Yeah, cheers, James. Nigel Wood there in charge of the international game now. Phil, look, Nigel's got his critics, but the message there was pretty clear. We want more international rugby league, and we're getting it here. There's more to come this weekend, of course. France in Ireland tomorrow. We've got England taking on New Zealand. The question is, how do we fit more into what is an already packed calendar?
It's a really, really good question, and it's one that the game as a whole needs to address. How does it develop new audiences? And I think it only really does that through the international game. We've seen the emergence of Tonga as the fourth Tier 1 nation, just about. I think we're all in awe of the work that's going on in the Pacific nations, the amount of players that come from there, that populate the game in the Southern Hemisphere. And I think that's why this European Championship is so important. We need something in the north that will match it. Obviously, we need more clubs to release more players of a better quality. But I think we've seen a really competitive game today that shows that if we treat international rugby league with the respect that it deserves, then obviously we're going to get more and more contests that are meaningful. If the British Lions are coming back, then we need to have a strong Scotland, a strong Wales and a strong Ireland, so it isn't just England by another name, and that's why nights like tonight here at Netherdale are so important.
They are indeed. Scotland coming out for the second half alongside their Welsh counterparts here. Scotland leading by 12 points to 8 at half-time. 2 tries apiece, and ultimately, Phil, it could be goal kicking that is the difference. We've seen Ryan Brierley nailed one from the sideline, a wonderful kick to make it 12-0, and then from the other end of the field, we've seen Olds has missed a couple, granted difficult ones, but he'll be disappointed not to have got one of them over.
Yeah, I think he will, but the really distinct area that Wales have got to improve in is their discipline. Penalty count at half-time. That Scotland have got to improve in is their discipline. That's what's let Wales back into the game. 6-1. The final penalty count in the first half to Wales, and Scotland have got to address that. I think Chris Chester will have been saying at half-time, look guys, you made such a good start the first 15 minutes, you barely made a mistake. The 25 following, it was one mistake after the other. They've got to dominate territory like they did in the first 15 minutes if they're going to go on and have their first ever win at Netherdale at the 3rd attempt.
OK, well, the ball with Wales, and they get their first possession of this second half, 12 points to 8. They trail here. John Keir, I'm sure, will have worked on a few things at half-time, but his side were dominant towards that break. Can they keep up that dominance after and draw level here in the borders of Scotland as they come forward now with Fleming? Fleming has been immense tonight for John Keir's side. The Halifax player tackled just outside his own 20-metre area. They move it down their left-hand side. Good tackling from the Scots defence. Bit of messing about the play of the ball. Referee says get on with it. Whoa, another big collision. And again, it was McConaughey that was looking for the big shot. He doesn't do things by half, does he?
Morgan Evans did well to ride that challenge on the last tackle. A big kick from Wales, but it's straight down the throat of David Scott, and this time he makes no problem.
Yeah, he really did duck underneath it, didn't he? Took it just off the grass here, the lush surface at Netherdale, and Scotland have their hands on the ball for the first time in this second half. They lead by 4, and whenever it's a one-score game, the nerves will be jangling here, because realistically lose tonight and that is it for the European Championships, and more than likely your hopes as well are getting through to the World Cup at this time of asking. Of course, it is worth bearing in mind the bottom 2 after the 3 games are played will get another chance next year, so all is not lost in terms of World Cup 2021. But at the moment, it's Scotland in the must-win game that lead. They have the ball now, just shy of halfway. Brierley gets it away. It's taken forward by Luckley. He's up to halfway, and he's still going. Big meters after contact. Great work from Luckley, the substitute, on the last. They're going to go now to Thomas. He's going high. Left-footed kick towards his near side. It's allowed to bounce. Anything could happen here. Keir is out, jumped in the air. Ball's on the ground. And the referee, I think, is going to say it's a knock-on by Scotland, and that will be the turnover. Now, we've praised Elliot Keir all night. He shouldn't be letting that ball bounce there, surely.
No, he misjudged that one, I think. The first rule of full-back players, don't let the ball bounce. And he got away with it. Scotland following up really well. Just couldn't reel the ball in. I think Craig Robertson on his debut was thinking about maybe a try for his first performance, and just couldn't gather the ball in. But again, Scotland starting the half well, and I think McConaughey is getting involved in all of their heavy defensive work. They've looked like they did at the start of the opening 40, the dominant team.
Well, they are at the moment. Oh, now a knock-on at the play of the ball by Wales, and referee Cassidy was quickly on that. There's a few shrugs of shoulders from Wales, but they've come up with a first error. Just under 3 minutes gone in the second half. Scruffy play of the ball. I think they were hoping for a penalty rather than a knock-on there. But Scotland here, Phil, well, this is a dream chance for them, just outside the 20-metre area, and a real chance to extend their 4-point lead.
Yeah, and we saw the very first try of the game came on the back of Wales knocking on or getting a hand to the ball on the halfway line, and Scotland made them pay for that. So we've got a repetition of that opening 40 minutes here at the start of the second half.
Ball moves out wide, taken forward. Just outside the 20 they go. Ball be played now. Infield they come. Taken forward by the big man, McConaughey. He's wrapped up. Need to ask some questions here, the Scottish side. They go down the short side. Brierley gets it away. Taken into contact. Tackle made 10 metres out. as they'll play the ball now. Briley again. Here's McConaughey, runs forward. Bit of a barge there from Fleming. 5 metres out. Are they lining up a move to this left-hand side? That's where they're looking now with Thomas. A little juggle and a big step. Gets it out the back here. Chance for Oakes. Steps inside, one tackle, but he's well wrapped up by the defence of Wales. And they're going to have to do a little bit more than that as the referee signals last tackle here. They're going back to the middle of the park. Thomas, little chip kick over the top aimed at Briley, but it's well caught by Wales. And now they're looking to launch a counter-attack from inside their own 20. They're still going. Great work on this near side, and Wales survived. Probably wasn't the best option there, but Ben Morris was good under the high ball and did well to get the ball up towards the 30.
Read it absolutely brilliantly and made really good yards on the back of it, and I think that's a win for Wales, that the defence didn't capitulate, that they did stay strong, and the kick wasn't a great one. It was just a dink over. It didn't really test anyone, but it wasn't so much that Morris took it, it was the venom with which he took it and the ground that he made on the back of it. And Fleming, who I don't think has been substituted yet, is continuing his good work from the first half.
He is indeed, and now Wales over the halfway line. Now McConaughey's gone down clutching his right shoulder. That will be a concern for Chris Chester's side. He's still down at the moment. Physio hasn't come on as yet. Ball going down the short side. Nice little pass. Here's Williams. Breaks through the line of defence. Goes past the fullback and he's going to level it up. Williams' second try comes round to the post. And that was all too easy for the Welsh side. And they have the first points of the second half. It's a double on the night for Rhys Williams. Wales' record try scorer. He's at it again. We're locked up here in the European Championship. It's Scotland 12, Wales 12.
He's an absolutely wonderful finisher, is Rhys Williams, particularly for his country. But again, put that down to some really smart work from Ben Morris. He's involved in Williams' first try with a lovely flick pass out the back there. Just a short ball, drew the defence in, but perfectly timed. And Morris, who took the high kick and made the ground initially to put Wales on the front foot, produces an absolute peach of a pass to get Williams over. He is such a good finisher, is Rhys Williams. Give him half a yard and he'll make you pay, and he has done here. And this is a great start for Wales. They weathered the storm, looked like they were going to be in trouble on their own line. Morris was the out key for them, and he sets up the try as well. And all of a sudden, from being almost out of the game after barely 10 minutes, Wales are back in it, 3 tries to 2.
Yeah, they are indeed. And a real chance now to look to add the extras. This is the easiest kick. Williams, not only did he have the presence of mind to get in at the corner, he actually came round towards the post, and this makes it an easier conversion for Olds. The wind is just whistling around a little bit here at Netherdale. Here he comes, right-footed. Puts it towards the post. The touch judges haven't moved, and for the first time tonight, Wales hit the front into the second half. It's Scotland 12, Wales 14.
Perfect start for Wales at the start of this second half. They'd had all the momentum in the final 25 minutes of the first half. Could they make that pay? Well, yes, because of Ben Morris's presence of mind, taking a high ball and flicking out a quality pass. Rhys Williams' wonderful finish when given half a chance. Olds finally gets his kicking boots on, and all of a sudden, from talking about how Scotland had dominated this game, it's Wales that are in charge of it. It's Wales that are keeping their World Cup hopes alive. It's the defending champions of the European Championship that are hoping next week when they play Ireland, they're still in with a chance of winning it.
Yeah, James Olds, his first successful kick out of 3 attempts. I went for the shortish kick-off there towards the sideline. Good thinking from Scotland, but they've given Wales the ball back, and already on tackle 2, they're up to the 40-metre line. Wales in front for the first time tonight. John Key will be happy with how his side have started this second half as the ball trundles towards halfway. Now, what can Wales build on this 2-point lead, and can Scotland stop the run of 14 unanswered points? Here goes the ball up the middle. Strong carry from Wales. Head rock back in the tackle there. It was good defending and good running as well. Here they move the ball out on this near side. Wales asking questions as they go over the 40-metre line. It is the last one here for the Welsh side. They're surely going to put the ball high in the air. Jenkins goes high. It's not probably gone as deep as he would have wanted. Scotland are going to let it bounce. It's picked up by Wales. They'll kick it again towards this near side, where Mike Butt is chasing. Ball high up in the air and well dealt with there by Craig Robertson. That was not easy. easy, but he got up highest of all, picks up the ball, and Scotland finally get their hands back on it.
Yeah, it was falling over his shoulder and bounced as well, and he just managed to readjust his body, and Robertson did well to cover that. But Wales is certainly in the ascendancy at the moment, and a lot of it is coming from the work of people like Dan Fleming, who's just been absolutely tireless out there. We mentioned him in the first half, but just so eager to either get involved with the tackle, as we can see in this one, although it's given away a penalty, probably rightly so. He did hang on a bit too long, but that will let Scotland off the hook a little bit. It's been a perfect start from Wales, and Robertson just turning his body and readjusting in time to collect the ball, and then a penalty on the back.
He actually did well, didn't he? Because just for a moment it looked like Mike Butt was going to out-jump him, but Robertson clutched the ball in. Mariano wins a penalty, but worrying again for Chris Chester's side. He's got that thigh heavily bandaged, Mariano, his left thigh. I think he felt the back of his hamstring as he got up, and he's still just down below us, just having a stretch, if you like. He's concerned by that as Bentley is tackled. Scotland trailing for the first time tonight here in the European Championship, but they're only 2 behind, and there's over half an hour left to try and rectify that narrow margin on the scoreboard. As the tackle made here now, Bell gets it away to Briley, short pass. Glow wrapped up at the back. He'll play the ball now. They're going to go down the short side. There's a chance here. Can they get the pass away? They're trying to work their way into the corner. Good defence, but equally good attacking play there from the centre. As the ball now to Briley. He goes short, driven in here by the forward pack. Driven and dropped on the floor, and it's regathered by Wales, and that's an error. It was Ollie Wilkes, I think, just lost possession of the ball, and the ball on the ground.
I wasn't sure if a Welsh hand came over there in the tackle and dislodged the ball, but either way, Wilkes should have been holding it a lot more tenaciously than he did, and Wales defence holds. I think, again, Keir coming across to the far side to make a tackle when it looked like there was an overlap on the right for the Scots, and he's marshalling his team so well from the back, Elliot Keir.
He is at the moment, 14-12, and he might have just picked it up on the pictures there. It's raining here quite heavily. Tell you what, the hardy souls here, aren't they, in Scotland? They're all stood down below us. There's a covered stand on the far side. They're all stood here on the open terrace down below us. They're loving the rugby league here tonight. That could be a penalty. They played the ball against the defender on the floor, Wales, and Wales are going to get another penalty, and this is another piggyback downfield. And Scotland at the moment, it's they who are losing their discipline. A little bit unfortunate there. The player couldn't really get out of the way, and the referee quick to blow the whistle, and Wales now will start this set inside the 30, and a big chance here for John Keir's side to extend their lead.
Well, we've only had 10 minutes of the second half and only had 2 penalties in that 10 minutes, and they've both gone to Wales, and that's why they're dominating position and possession. Can they do something on the back of this set?
Great
Lovely
scoop
break
from Curtis Davis. Almost broke the line there. He's dragged down 10 metres out, but they're knocking on the door here, the Welsh. They're looking now to get the ball forward with Ben Evans. He's been colossal for the Welsh here tonight, driving and leading from the front. 3-4 metres out from the line. Bell slowing the play of the ball down as the Scots look to hang on here. They'll move the ball out wide. Big miss out pass. No, clutched in by one hand from Rodri Lloyd. Great skill there. Looked like the pass was aiming out the back, but he dragged it in, and he's wrapped up on the 5-metre line right in front of the posts here. Which way do they go? They're going to turn it back in, and they've dropped it. And just as I give Ben Evans the big rap for his performance, he comes up with an error. It's an uncharacteristic one, and it hasn't half let Scotland off the hook. They still trail by 2.
Commentators curse there, just praise Ben Evans. He couldn't reel the ball in. I'm not even sure that was the right move at that time. I think, again, spread the ball wide. You've almost uncovered either of the wingers, left or right, but unfortunately for Wales, they decided to go up the middle and couldn't make that pay. But a lovely little break up the middle from Curtis Davies. I thought he was clear. He's made a difference off the bench, filling in at that hooker role, and I think Wales will be really pleased with the way they've started this half. None of the problems that they had at the start of the first half. They've dominated. They've got Scotland at the moment on the back foot and a 2-point lead.
Yeah, just the one try of the second half. It went to Rhys Williams, the London Broncos winger, and it put Wales in front for the first time. 14-12 as a offload there goes to hand. It's taken forward. And Wales, well, they think they've stolen this ball back, but I think the referee said there were 2 in the tackle there. A bit of controversy here. They're not happy, the Welsh side. It was the halfback Josh Ralph. He thought he'd pinched it one-on-one, but Ben Casty said no, there were 2 in the tackle. penalty to Scotland.
Yeah, I think Frankie Mariano may have got away with them there, although it looks like there were two in the tackle. I think he'd already dropped the ball. It wasn't a secure possession. I think it was Bell, wasn't it, who's back on the field. The big New Zealand warrior who made a big impact in the early stages, and they'll be hoping he'll have similar now that he's back on the field.
Glow takes it forward. He's wrapped up 5 metres over the halfway line. Here they go now with Bell. The loose forward takes it in, looking for the contact, and takes 10 metres out of the defence. They're inside the 30 or on the 30-metre line now. Scotland will want to get their noses back in front as Bentley drops it back. Now it's lost by Scotland, and the prop forwards, this time it's Ollie Wilkes who spilt the ball, and maybe the conditions, it is cold here and it's wet now, and it's maybe just getting a little bit tough as Bentley ripped it one-on-one, but he couldn't get the ball off the big forward Ben Evans, and now there's a break for Fleming. He had support on his shoulder and he didn't pass it. Josh Ralph was screaming for the pass and he didn't give it. Here come Wales now, looking to move it out wide. Ball with Olds. Olds is wrapped up, but from one end to the other, and the mistakes now could be crucial with just 2 points between the two sides. As a ball taken forward by Davis, he's wrapped up 20 metres away. Ball going now to the left-hand side. They get it out the back. Neat footwork from Keir. He's wrapped up. Good tackle from Ryan Briley. Oh, did he lift the leg? Yes, he did. Penalty for Wales. That was unnecessary from Briley.
Yeah, I think, again, the referees made the right decision. Another penalty for Wales here. That's 8-3, I think the penalty count now is to Wales. But the worry for Scotland at the moment, Ollie Wilkes twice driven the ball in and lost it. I think they need to secure it. It's very greasy out there. Conditions are not ideal. Wales opting to tap this. Fleming, who made the half break but didn't give the ball to Ralph, he now passes it on to Ben Evans.
Evans starts 15 away. They'll move the ball here to this near side. Short pass here for Rodri Lloyd. Lloyd offloads it and the ball's on the ground again. Second tackle into the set. John Keir will be furious. Wales there really overplaying when they don't need to. They've got their noses in front. They need to start completing sets and putting pressure on this Scottish line.
Yeah, they elected to tap the penalty rather than go for the 2 points. Possibly right, although in conditions worsening a little bit. I may have been tempted to bring that kicking tee out and edge it to 4, but decided to run it. If you're going to do that, I think the very least you need is a back-to-back set. And on the second tackle, a ball that was forced out. And unfortunately for Olds, he couldn't reel it in. And again, a little bit of the pressure let off of Scotland, who are struggling at the moment.
Well, Scotland were, if you've just joined us, 12 points to 0 up inside the opening 10 minutes, but a Rhys Williams double has got them back in it. Big shot there as Scotland trying to bring the ball off their own line, and Ben Evans, he threw everything at that, including the kitchen sink, and he came up with a big shot. There's a ball now coming forward with Scotland. These are hard meters now, bringing the ball off their own 20-metre area. They wanted a penalty, they're not going to get one. Ball from Bentley, gets it away to Thomas. Risky pass, but well taken in by the Scots, and they're almost up to the halfway line. Bentley will get it away to Oscar Thomas. He turns back to Bell. Bell looking for work. He's not the biggest forward, but he's tough and he's aggressive, and he finds his way on halfway on what is the last tackle. Ball played now. They'll go back to Thomas. He's going high, under pressure. Keir again is going to let this ball bounce, and this time it bounces straight into his arms. He'll swing out the pass. It's landed on the grass. That was risky from the captain. It's picked up by the wingman on the far side, Williams, but that was high-risk football from Elliot Keir.
Yes, you'd think that perhaps he would have taken the ball in himself there, but he and Williams do seem to have this innate partnership, and as soon as he got the ball in his hands, he was looking for his mate out wide, and the ball did find its way to him. But if I was David Scott, the Scotland fullback, I would not be running into Ben Evans for another couple of weeks at least.
Well, the ball coming forward, the tackles are flying in here, but they're bouncing off Connor Davis on this occasion. The Welshman is up to the 40-metre line. Wales leading by 2. They love the next score here as they try and break through the line, and they have done. Ralph moves the ball out, and a chance here for Chester Butler to stroll under the post, and Wales do extend their lead. Is that the match-winning moment? The break of the line from Ralph. He stood up the fullback, and Chester Butler strolls in. It's Scotland 12, Wales 18.
Yeah, I think, again, Ralph using Fleming as a foil. Fleming's done so much work that the Scottish defence defence had their eyes on him, but he didn't give it. He went through the hole that had been created himself, just turned the ball on the outside, and the young Halifax forward, Butler, in support. Relative of Colin Dixon's one of the most famous players ever to pull on the red jersey of Wales. Butler will be absolutely delighted with that score, but what a turnaround we've seen in this game. If you'd have said after 10 minutes when Scotland were 12-0 up that they'd be conceding, well, I would imagine with this kick in front of the post, without again wishing to put a dampener on it, that we're going to see 20 unanswered points from Wales to put them now in pole position for this game. It's been some turnaround. I think, we said it was a risky pass from Elliot Keir to Rhys Williams, but it made the break in the defence that was later exploited by Ralph. Butler supporting on his outside. Did the business.
Yeah, James Olds does the business. Second successful kick from him out of 4 attempts. He's got 2 of his last 2 though, and Scotland all of a sudden have got a mountain to climb here at Netherdale tonight. It's Scotland 12, Wales 20.
Yeah, I think 4 tries to 2 now tells you the story of the game, that Wales have capitalised. They've cut out the discipline and problems of their first half. They're now playing much more football. Their forwards are making ground. The Scots, who brought back some of their starting pack, can't stop that flow at the moment. I'd like to see Ryan Briley with the ball in his hands more, running at the defence. He's got the footwork, he's got the speed. Scotland needs something as we approach the hour mark to bring them back into this game.
Here comes Fleming, who's been pretty good tonight. I'm sure when you're talking about man of the match selections later on, his name will be high on that list, Phil. Almost an hour gone here, and the Welsh lead by 8. They've kept calm and composed despite going 12-0 down early on. Dixon and Bell had Scotland seemingly on the front foot, but Williams and Jenkins had them 12-8 down at the break, and then Williams second, followed by that Chester Butler strolling. Means that Wales lead by 8, and they're up to the halfway line again. And Scotland at the moment, they've got no answers, as here comes Evans rolling down the middle. This time he takes meters out of the Scottish defence, and eventually the tackle is made 30 metres out. Ball now swings back. They're going to go high across field. Tester for the wingman on the near side. He's dropped it, picked up by Wales, and it's going to be a second try on debut for Elliot Jenkins. He celebrates as he dives underneath the posts, and Wales surely here are going to wrap up their first win of the European Championships. It's a dream debut for Elliot Jenkins. The Rochdale man picks up on another error. It's Scotland 12, Wales 24.
2 tries in consecutive sets have put Wales in total control here. I like the work of James Olds when the kick went up. Isolated Craig Robertson, but if Olds hadn't gone in and pushed the ball back, then obviously there wouldn't have been a chance for Jenkins to do what he's done for the second time tonight. Just managed to clamp the ball to his ear, kept hold of it, waved to the crowd, and there are a section of Welsh fans here who've been quite noisy over in the main stand at Netherdale. 2 tries on debut. It must be the stuff of dreams for young Elliot Jenkins.
Yeah, the Rochdale man, right place, right time, and that's what halfbacks are there to do. They're there to follow up these little mistakes and errors, and he was there to pounce upon it, and again had the presence of mind to come round underneath the posts, and a big chance here for James Olds to make it 3 from 5 with a boot, and surely put Wales into an unassailable lead here. They lead by 12. And he's 11 metres out in front of the post. Scotland all ready to walk back to the halfway line. The kick is good. And here at Netherdale in Scotland, Scotland in trouble. Scotland 12, Wales 26.
I think looks like a 3rd defeat on the trot at this particular venue for Scotland. They looked so full of promise, but their energy levels have gone, I think, as Wales have managed to rein in the penalties that they were giving away. They've dominated possession. They know how to finish as well. I've been really, really impressed with the fact that when they've got a half chance, they've managed to make the most of it in this second half. First half, they were a bit profligate at the last tackle. They didn't really have as much idea as perhaps John Keir would have wanted them to, but every time they've fashioned an opportunity in this second half, they've taken it. 3 tries on the bounce, 2 in 3 minutes, and certainly the defending European champions are in the ascendancy here.
And what we've got to factor in here, Phil, as well, there's still 17 and a half minutes left. Now, Wales were well beaten on the opening night, 54 points to 18. They will want to try and eat into that points difference, because it could be points difference that sends them to the World Cup, or means they have to qualify again next year.
Yeah, well, of course, the 2 winners from last week, Ireland and France, play in Santry just outside of Dublin tomorrow. You would think that if France were the favourites for that win, then all of a sudden we've got a huge Celtic showdown in week 3 between Ireland and Wales.
Another break there forward for Wales as they are looking to pour it on here. They've hit 2 quick tries as Evans takes it forward. Inside the 30 they go. Last one. You feel that they're going to attack this near side with a high ball. No, they go down the short side. They go high, and a tester here for David Scott. He's underneath it. He comes up with the money. Well played, Scott, under real pressure right when his team needed him, and he comes up with the ball.
I think that one of the other things that have been really important for Wales getting this lead has been the kicking of Ralph in the second half. It's been much more pinpoint, much more accurate, much less aimless. It's put Scotland under real pressure, but Scott did magnificently to take that. Hard to impress upon people how greasy that top is out there, how biting and cold the wind is here, and also the rain coming down. That was a fabulous take from David Scott.
16 minutes thereabouts left here in the European Championship, and it looks like McConaughey is about to come back on for Scotland, and I think really that is Chris Chester's last roll of the dice. He needs some physicality as Thomas is going to kick the ball into touch on the near side. Well, at least they're trying to pen Wales back inside their own half, but I think Chris Chester now, the Scotland coach, he's got to throw on what he can. McConaughey, the big man, they need to get him out there and get some physicality into this pack.
Absolutely, made a huge difference when he came on in the first half. One of the things Scotland have got to do as well is stop the darting runs of Curtis Davies out of half-back. He has been really, really good in this second half. He's made a mountain of possession. Again, that sort of summed up Scotland. Got to the last tackle in the set of 6. Oscar Thomas looked round, saw what his options were, and realised actually there weren't any. So he had to go for the kick to touch. And you know, when you're 14 points down, yes, you want to get an error out of the opposition on their own 10-metre line, but it's a really negative play when you need to score points.
Yeah, it's almost akin to stopping Wales scoring rather than getting some back yourself. It was Kane Bentley who went off for the big fella, McConaughey. And his first job will be to defend here. 15 left. Wales have got this 14-point lead. They'll be thinking they've got the big chance next week in Wales at the Racecourse Ground to take on Ireland for what could be a place at the World Cup. What a game that will be next Sunday afternoon. But they've got to take care of business here. They've not won just yet. We've seen leads like this evaporate in the blink of an eye. But Scotland at the moment, they can't get their hands on the ball. Wales have been very good in the second half, and Dan Fleming in particular has been outstanding for the full 65 minutes. Here they come attacking now. Keir moves it out wide. Chance on this near side for Olds. Olds makes a line break. Could be another try. Miss out pass into the middle. Can he get for the hat-trick? No, he offloads it. And Ralph will score under the post. Very, very unselfish from Jenkins. The ground just seemed to evaporate under his feet, and he opted to pass. The hat-trick was begging, but Ralph will wrap up the victory. It's another try for Wales. They extend their lead to 30 points to 12.
Been impressed with Olds. He's got better as the game's gone on, got more confident, got through the line. I thought absolutely brilliant from Elliot Jenkins, because I think he just lost his footing as he took the ball. He could so easily have gone to ground, but he had the presence of mind to keep the ball alive. And Ralph, who's had a very, very good second half. I thought he was ordinary in the first half. He was too easily nullified when taking the line on. But the second half, his kicking's been good. He broke the line for Butler's try, and he's now scored one himself, supporting us all good half back should do up the middle, and Wales have got this game now, and you're absolutely right. Scotland can look forward to next year and the European qualifying group for the World Cup, but Wales, they still have their eyes on this championship. Yes, they took a heavy beating in France, but there's a chance that they could not only they need help. They need France to be beaten by Ireland tomorrow, but if Wales can keep just racking up the points, not only will they have a chance of winning this particular tournament, but they are putting themselves in pole position next week to potentially qualify for the World Cup.
They are. It's another successful kick for James Olds. He's kicked all 4 in this second half as Wales have really cut loose. They were 12-8 down at half-time, but Rhys Williams' second try was quickly followed up by Butler and Jenkins, who also got his second before Josh Ralph has just extended the lead. It's Scotland 12, Wales 32. More changes here for the Scottish side as they have rolled around their substitutes, and Ollie Wilkes has come off. Craig Borthwick has come on for Scotland. They're going to go for the short restart. They've got nothing to lose, but it's not the greatest restart. Now, was that knocked on? No. Initially, Ben Castey said play on, but the touch judge who was near on the far side said yes, that was an error from the Welsh side, and they'll be disappointed with that. It was Steve Parry who spilt the ball.
Yeah, Parry, who's come back on. They've taken the live wire Curtis Davies off. I think they're hoping that they can keep the middle of the field solid and just a 20-point margin. I'm shaking my head looking at the notes that we've made for that opening 10 minutes, thinking an avalanche for Scotland. They were 12-0 up inside just over 8 minutes when Bell went over and the conversion was made by Briley. But to be looking now with about 12 minutes left, that it's Wales who've got a 20-point lead, and all the star performers in the second half have been wearing red, and it's proved to be a real and a great turnaround from John Keir's men.
It has indeed. It's been a fantastic second half performance. They were, in fairness, the better side at the end of the first half as well, but they've really kicked on second half. There's been no answers from Chris Chester's Scotland as they come forward. Maybe if they can get one, they'd give themselves a glimmer, but it would only be that with 12 minutes left. They do face mission impossible here on home soil at Netherdale. As the ball now 15 away, they're going to try and barge their way over. McConaughey ramps up, takes a shot at Fleming, but Fleming stands his ground as three teammates knock the big forward to the ground. They're going now to that short side. Briley to Thomas. Thomas with a gap, gets it away on the far side, but they're bumped into touch. And Thomas maybe there should have put his head down and gone for the corner, but Davy Dixon is absolutely flattened as he looked for his second. Well, that was a big shot on Davy Dixon, and the Wales defence.
That was absolutely brilliant from Ralph there, wasn't it? Fantastic cover. It looked as I think you're right. Thomas had enough room there to perhaps go himself. He was looking unselfishly perhaps to give the pass a little bit early, but I thought there was half a gap there that he could have tried to exploit. It wasn't the last tackle, but Davy Dixon almost given an impossible task. But Ralph, the young halfback, who clearly is fearless, knows nothing other than to put his body on the line, just shot over in the corner and made sure that the Scottish wing was put into touch. And that little cameo probably sums up the difference between the two teams in this second half.
There's been that little bit more energy, hasn't, and desire from Wales. They've just had that little bit extra when they've needed it. 10 minutes left here at Netherdale, and that is going to be a penalty. Now there's a bit of argy-bargy on the floor, and a bit of a high shot. Referee was quick on the whistle there. I don't think we needed the aftermath of that one, but the Welsh players were in quickly, and it was
Dalton Grant, isn't it, who's come off the bench. He was,
the Bradford Bulls man.
He's given a little bit of a facial.
It was Bell, wasn't it, who crashed into the tackle. It's not been that type of game, has it, in fairness? A lot of the penalties have been for niggly infringements rather than foul play.
I think slowing the play the ball down has been the most obvious one, but there's players in both packs that really like to physically impose themselves, and certainly in terms of Fleming and Butler on the Welsh side. And I think obviously we've mentioned McConaughey quite a lot, and Bell, they just like the physical side of the game, and we like to see it.
We do indeed. 32-12 Wales lead here. They were 12-0 down, remarkably. I just want to ask you about the referee as well. Ben Castey, his brother plays in Super League. He's had a very good game tonight, hasn't he?
It's been what you'd want from any referee, that there hasn't been a contentious issue. It's all been down to the players. And that was a great offload from Fleming.
Yeah, another great offload from Fleming, and Parry was ducking and diving his way forward. And inside the 30 they go. They're looking for more points. The offload was on from Ralph. He takes the tackle and goes out wide. Here's Williams looking for the hat-trick. He breaks through. Ball back to Ralph, and he's going to cross for his double. Well, it was his pass that put Williams away, and Williams puts him underneath the post, and Wales cutting loose here. They're running riot in Scotland. They extend their lead. Scotland 12, Wales 36.
Yeah, too easy on the back of that cheap penalty, but it came from a wonderful offload in midfield from Fleming. We'll no doubt talk about the candidates who are man of the match. He's got to be up there, but Ralph has had a wonderful second half, and Williams is just so difficult. His step is very, very late, and he's a powerful man. He took it into the Scottish defence, and Ralph just supporting on the inside. He'd given the pass, he took the return. Again, he has been a really, really good second half. He's directed his team round well, and he bounced off the supporting player, and it's been a great second half for Wales. John Keel will be absolutely delighted on the journey back down from Netherdale that his team didn't give in early on when they could quite easily have capitulated, and they've come up with a wonderful second half. You have 5 unanswered tries. That is a dominant performance.
It is indeed, and James Olds, who struggled with the first 2 kicks from the sideline, will be grateful to his teammates that have been much kinder to him in this second half, scoring near the post, and he'll fancy adding successful kick number 5 here. He's just to the left of the post, and he strikes it confidently, and it's 38 points to 12.
Tonight, as the score goes to Scotland 12, Wales 38.
So I think we're looking at man of the match candidates. I suspect that obviously Elliot Keir will get a mention. I think he's been absolutely superb. Rhys Williams has been so solid and created all the chances. But for me at the moment, unless anything major happens in the last few minutes, I've got to give it to Dan Fleming. Doesn't normally play prop forward for Halifax. He's normally a second rower. But Dan Fleming, who I don't think has been substituted at all in these 72 minutes, I think he's been absolutely outstanding. Here he is taking the ball in again.
Yeah.
Normally a back rower, that's why he wears 13 on his back. Wonderful performance from the prop forward tonight for Wales. He's been the catalyst for their revival.
He has. Aggressive in attack, aggressive in defence. And other than that time, he didn't put Ralph underneath the post. I think he's been pretty foot perfect tonight. 7 left here at Netherdale. Scotland only playing for pride. Their European Championship dreams are over for another season, and they will have to qualify next year for the 2021 World Cup. And it'll be interesting, and this is probably a side issue for another day, as Keir makes a break. He's going to chip it out to the wide outside. He's looking to try and get away. The ball breaks for Williams. He's on a hat-trick. Williams cuts in. He's going for the line, and he's going to get the hat-trick underneath the post. And Wales' record scorer scores again. Rhys Williams, a neat kick out wide, and he was the coolest man in Scotland. Picked it up and sidestepped his way under the post. Wales continue to pour on the agony for the Scots. It's Scotland 12, Wales 42.
Now this is now becoming a rout, and Wales are getting all the credit back that they lost in France. 54-18. Now they're over 40 points, and Rhys Williams, just give him the ball and just a hint of space, and he is so difficult to stop. But all of this beautifully manufactured from Keir. We've mentioned all the way through the game how well these two play. Keir could see that his mate on the outside was free. If he could get the ball to him, he wasn't going to put it through the hands. The easiest and best way of doing it was a little deft chip over the top, and Williams read it superbly. And as soon as he caught that ball, he was cutting inside to the post, and nobody was going to stop him. A hat-trick for Rhys Williams. I think that's 32 tries he scored for his country. At the moment, there's nobody to touch him for try scoring.
Well, at the moment, it doesn't look like he's going to stop adding to that list either, as Old's got another simple conversion. And all of a sudden here, as we clock towards the final few minutes, it's Wales who lead by 44 points to 12. 44 points to 12 here. And they'll be looking for the 50, Phil, dare I say it.
Yeah, we didn't see this coming even at half-time. 12-8, Wales were behind. They only went in front at the start of the second half, but as soon as they did, as soon as Williams was in, the floodgates have opened, and nothing Scotland can do can stop it. Some gallant performances on the Scotland side. I think Craig Robertson's done pretty well on his debut. Frankie Mariano, when he was out there, was good, and there's been moments from Bell and McConaughey. Glown has played his part and had very little break. I think he's been out there right from the beginning, but to be honest, it's all been about Wales in this second half, and the most consummate of performances barely made a mistake.
20 metres out from their own line. Wales looking to put the 50, and they might do so here as they break away down this near side. Ball back on the inside. It hits Oscar Thomas's hand. It's going to be back to 1 or back to 0 here. And Wales are chancing their arm. That was a try-saving hand from Oscar Thomas. The question is, how long is it going to stop the try coming as the ball driven forward by Benyon? Ball now with Parry. They're looking to put the 50 up here, Wales, tonight. Keir moves the ball out wide to Williams. The danger is on that far side, but he's lost it. It was ripped out. That should be play on, shouldn't it? I think the referee's going to say that Williams has lost it, and it's going to be a scrum head. No, he's giving it to Wales. A scrum head and feet to Wales. He's saying the Scottish player, having pulled the ball out of the tackle, knocked it forward before Williams got his hands on the ball, and it's going to be another gilt-edge opportunity. 20 metres out, and Wales looking to extend that big lead.
And that's just fear of Rhys Williams. I think every time he gets the ball, the Scottish defence goes into panic mode. But again, in difficult conditions, the wind is getting up. I would say the temperature won't be far off freezing at the moment. I've taken that from the evidence that I can't feel my feet anymore. And it's just been a wonderful John Keir-led performance by Wales. Everything that we know that he is famous for, of getting disparate groups together to perform well as a unit, Wales have shown that. They were shocked in the first 10 minutes. They've been absolutely dominant in the following 70.
They have, and they are now 20 metres out in front of the post. Parry will go to his right-hand side. Short pass, and they're trying to force the way over with Rodri Lloyd. He's 5 metres out. Ball coming forward here, and they're trying to barge the way over, and they have barged their way in, and Wales are going to put 50 on Scotland here as the try barged over from close range, and it's the big fella, Ben Evans, who's barged his way over. Too big and too strong at the side of the posts. It is Scotland 12, Wales 48.
I think that sums up the difference between the two teams in this second half. Obviously moving the ball out wide in the first instance created havoc in the Scottish defence. They never really recovered from that. And big Ben Evans, who I think you praised early on for helping to get Wales back into this game with his forceful runs. Last time you praised him, he dropped the ball on a move like that. This time, no question that he was going to barrel his way over, and the Scotland's defence has collapsed in the weight of this possession, and obviously Olds with, again, fortunately the kick in front of the post brings up the half century, and so we have not seen this coming.
So the kick is good. It's Scotland 12, Wales 50. And there is your man of the match, Phil Kaplan, Dan Fleming, been absolutely outstanding tonight, hasn't he, in attack and defence?
Yeah, hasn't missed a minute. Has been superb with some offloads. He's been strong in defence. He's run all night. He's run as decoy. He's run as main runner. I think the only thing he probably would need to top off what has been a magnificent performance would be a try, but he won't worry about that. His team have racked up 50 points to 12. They lost 54-18 in France. They've turned that around. I don't think any of us saw that coming at the start of this game.
Well, we've got coverage tomorrow of Ireland against France, and not only is it a huge victory for Wales, what it basically does is it puts the Irish or the French under pressure. Whoever loses tomorrow, it just cranks up that pressure.
Absolutely. They will know that there is a team in the wings that is ready to take them on. They'll get an immense amount of confidence from this, the Welsh. John Keir, the master coach, has come up with another performance that we can put down in the annals of great coaching book. He has this ability to take people from different divisions, different backgrounds, and turn them into a functioning unit. And they've been absolutely brilliant for 70 minutes, and they're going to finish with a flourish as well.
They are. Keir almost broke away up towards the halfway line. Confidence growing, but I think they've just come up with one of their first errors of the second half here, and Ralph has knocked on the halfway line. But I don't think there'll be too many complaints about this second half performance from the Welsh camp. They have been absolutely brilliant, haven't they? 12-0 down inside 8 minutes. They got it back to 12-8 at the break. Williams and Jenkins getting on the score sheet, but then in the second half they have run riot. 7 second half tries, and that is some performance, isn't it? They are going to be ready next week. We heard at half time the Welsh wanted to go into that game next week at the racecourse ground with it all on the line, and it is all going to be on the line next weekend.
You can't be more dominant than 7 unanswered second half tries, and if we're being honest, I can't think of a Scottish attack that's looked threatening in this second period. So the defence has been good, and on the back of that they've built some promising attack. I think they've played a lovely expressive brand of rugby as well. Been really impressed with young James Olds in the centres. I think he's been very, very good. He's grown as the game has progressed. He's posed serious threat, and when you've got him on the right hand side and you've got Williams as well then on the left, I think they've got something. They really have.
Well, here is the debutant, probably not being the night he would have wanted on his first Scotland appearance for Craig Robertson, but Scotland are trying to end as we're in injury time here. And that is it. The last act of the game is a tackle inside the Welsh 20. They weren't there too many times, Scotland, in the second half, and really after that opening 10 minutes it's all been Wales. David Dixon and James Bell had Scotland in front, but then the floodgates opened and Wales here deservedly, I think they've shown their class in the second half, and they've won here by 50 points to 12.
Brave as well, taking the tops off in this weather at the end of the game to swap them. Elliot Keir there with a big smile. The Welsh captain has been at the heart of everything that the Dragons have done really well. I think a lot of the crowd here are a little bit shell-shocked. There's been quite a few in Netherdale tonight who clearly are home Scottish fans wanting to see a performance, and after 10 minutes they were rubbing their hands together thinking this is exactly what international rugby's all about up here in the borders. And then they've been given a masterclass by the Welsh. 7 unanswered tries in the second half. They've really grown into the game. I think Ralph epitomised that at scrum half. I think first half the Scots had his measure, the second they couldn't deal with him, and with him dictating the play in the middle of the field, Keir at the back, Williams the threat out wide, and man of the match Fleming absolutely superb in all aspects of the game. This has been a consummate Welsh performance, thoroughly deserved the win, but the 50 points I think is something that we didn't expect at kick-off, and also that John Keir will be absolutely delighted about.
He will indeed. For Scotland, back to the drawing board. The second half not at all what they wanted here at Netherdale. But let's have a look at what happened in that second half then. 12-8 at the break, and Wales opened the scoring. Williams straight down that left-hand touchline, and he's a big man for a winger, Phil. They were never going to stop him.
No, he's got great swill of his hips that throws defenders off, but I still would pay credit to Ben Morris for the pass that gave him the space. I think we saw in the first half it was Morris's flick to Williams that gave him a chance, but what a great timed ball that brought Davy Dixon in and just gave Williams the space that he needed to prove the finisher that he is.
Yeah, and then it was another try for the Welsh, a simple break up the middle of the park. And here was the halfback Ralph, just puts in Chester Butler. Won't score an easier try for Wales than that. Phil strolls in underneath the posts, and Scotland at this point, I think we felt the writing was on the wall.
Support on the right, support on the left. Fleming did really well. He took Bell in, who thought that Fleming was going to get the ball. That meant that there was a gap on the outside, and Butler supporting took the ball from Ralph. You could see just a little leap in the air from Ralph there because he'd fooled the Scottish defence, and it was almost from that moment his confidence came.
And a tough moment, Craig Robertson under the high ball, couldn't take it, and it was deja vu. We saw Elliot Jenkins in the first half pounce on a loose high ball. He did it again, celebrated his debut with his second underneath the post, and a great night for the man from Rochdale.
Yeah, good work from Olds again, just to get up there and in the eye line of Robertson. And as we said in the first half, as a halfback, all you can keep doing is tracking the play. Be alert, be aware. And Jenkins was not so sure about the celebration before he's put the ball down, but when you're on debut and you've got your second try for Wales, it means everything to you.
It does indeed. We saw Josh Ralph earlier creating a try for Chester Butler, and he was on the end of a flowing move here from Wales, and he was the right man. After the ground just opened up, didn't it? It stopped Elliot Jenkins getting a hat-trick, but unselfishly kept the ball alive, and Ralph strolls in under the post, first of his double.
Again came from James Olds, break out wide, shrugged off his defender, lovely footwork, just kept his balance well. Needed a good pass selection here. He didn't take the easy option, he put it out to Jenkins. Jenkins, great presence of mind when he thought he was falling to ship the ball on, and Ralph again smiling because he's in the right place at the right time to pick up the ball, and that half-back pairing just got better as the game went on.
They did, and Ralph was in again shortly after more good work from Williams, and again unselfishness from this Welsh side. Williams could have taken the line on, he passes it back, and what do we say about good halfbacks? Always there in support, and then was Ralph to pick up a double.
Yeah, he made it and he scored it. It was Ralph that saw that Williams was free out wide. Williams again coming inside, almost untouchable when he puts that step on. Realised he wasn't going to get to the line himself, and Ralph was in support and took the ball under the posts. And then we pierce the resistance, we get to 50.
Yeah, they did indeed. And then we see Keir's kick out wide for his London Broncos teammate. And the try, hat-trick try for Rhys Williams, powered his way through. Really impressive stuff. We'll see him. We look forward to seeing him in Super League next season. and a fitting way for Williams to round off his night here in Scotland.
Yeah, one of the combinations that works all night, the London Broncos pair. Kieran Williams always looking for each other. Keir, the lovely little astute kick over the top, and Williams, as soon as he saw that ball bobbing up, I'm having my hat-trick. Nobody's going to stop me. Round by the post, wonderful second half from Wales, comprehensive win, 50 points on the board. They're back in contention in this competition.
And then the big man, Ben Evans, outstanding tonight, barges his way over through some tight defending to score at the side of the post and bring up 50. He's had a good night, hasn't he, Evans, tonight?
Yeah, worked really hard, summed up his team, but you saw 3 or 4 Scotland players on their haunches there. They couldn't stop him. Big win for Wales.
Big win for Wales. Let's get some reaction then from the sideline. We'll hear from the captain and the man of the match there with James.
Thanks, Mark. I'm here with the winning Welsh captain, Elliot Keir, and the man of the match, Dan Fleming. Elliot, I'll go to you first. How important was that win today for Wales?
Yeah, really important. We needed to get 2 wins out of the 3. We needed to bounce back from last week as well, and I think we did that.
And do you feel you had a point to prove after the game in Carcassonne?
Yeah, definitely. I think we started slow, but we've worked in the week on the things that we needed to improve on, and we've come out with a good performance today.
So a good training week all over then?
Yeah, very good. Really.
And Dan, for yourself, how was that for you today?
Yeah, tough in middle, but I think the young half-backs really took hold of it after the first 10-15 minutes. We turned a lot of cheap ball over, but after that we really got into it.
And do you think the team's grown over the last week?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, there's a load of young kids in there, so this experience is going to do wonders for them.
Well, you won this trophy back in 2015. With the game in Ireland, so against Ireland next week, do you feel you got a chance of retaining the title?
Yeah, definitely. I think we can give ourselves the best possible chance with a performance like today.
And for you both, how closely will you be watching the game tomorrow?
Very closely.
And going ahead to next week, what do you think? Do you think home advantage in Wrexham will pay dividends for yourselves?
Yeah, I think so. Ireland are going to be a tough team. They put a good score on Scotland, so did, as we did. So it'll be a pretty equal game, I think.
And most importantly, how important would it be for you to be playing in the World Cup in 3 years' time?
Yeah, that's the main aim, I think, here this year. So if we can do that, then job done.
Right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Congratulations on tonight.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Right.
Cheers.
Right. Well, that's it for the action here at Netherdale. Tomorrow, France travel to Ireland for a game with massive championship ramifications. Wales celebrate their win tonight, and they will host the Irish next week in Wrexham. France will host the Scots next week in Carcassonne. You can see both games live on the BBC Sport website, the Connected app, and by downloading the app. But until then, thank you very much, and good night from Gala Shields.